Hey everyone, and welcome back to the girls room. Today is a very special day because tomorrow, well actually I guess tomorrow is the day, and it's the day that somebody's turning 34. Couldn't be me. No, I put rollers in my hair for what? I don't know. I was trying to do that like headband thing where it's like super big, but I didn't do it right, and now I fear I may look stupid. Oh well, I'm committing. Anyway, I am very grateful for my life and for where I'm at and to be here filming another episode. So tomorrow's my 34th birthday. It's March 14th. I am a Pisces and I'm always repping. And my dad spoiled the surprise, as he does sometimes. And that surprise is that my family upgraded my podcast setup for me. They got this camera that I really wanted and was about to be like Klarna.com, and they all split it. It's the Sony ZV-E10. I did a lot of research. For anyone out there that creates content and who gives a shit, they would probably care about this. I did my research. It was between that one and the Sony ZV-E10, and seems like the ZV-E10 does a little bit more and has a little bit more options as far as changing lenses, and who knows if I ever need something upgraded, but some of my favorite YouTubers use that camera. And the best part is that you can put an external mic into it, which my Canon G7X takes the most bomb photos on earth, but you cannot link a microphone to it. So like I've told you guys, I've been laying the audio over from filming on my phone, which is right next to here, and this is going to be such an amazing thing. It also has like 30 hours, I think, of filming time, which is amazing because I do have some guests lined up and I won't have to stop every 30 minutes, stop film and then refilm, because that really gets old fast, especially when you're like in the flow of a conversation and then your camera's like beep, 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 and you're like shit, and now it's like it fucks with the flow. When I did episode 10 with my friends, it was really, really frustrating because I had to keep stopping while we were like laughing and having fun, and it made it feel a little bit like staccato to me. I don't know where that word just came from, but if you know what staccato means, like if I even know what it means, I think it's like it felt like you could hear like the stopping in it, and that really annoyed the fuck out of me. Good thing I can edit and make it seem like it's flowing better, but I had to add a lot of like beep intermissions, and that was why I was having so many technical difficulties, and my camera just, it stops filming after 30 minutes. So even when I film here, I do it in like 15-minute segments. That way I don't like run out of time while I'm mid-sentence. So I've learned a lot, but I'm super grateful that I have family that supports me and my endeavors. Like my mom has no idea what I even do. She doesn't get it or understand it, which is fine, but she still was like, you know, we'll support you. We got you the camera. So shout out to my mom, my dad, my brother, my sister-in-law. They all split it, and next episode I think I'll have it by then, and we are upgrading, guys. So all 40 of you that are with me on this journey are really seeing it from the ground up, and I couldn't be more excited. I also couldn't be more excited that it is finally so fucking nice out. Go outside if you live in New York. Please enjoy this weather because it was rainy, disgusting, and dog shit everywhere for like really a long time. And I like the winter, but we don't even get real winters anymore in New York. Like we get this gross rain where people think their dog shit is just gonna evaporate, so they just like leave it there. It's so weird. But then it's just wet dog shit, especially here in Brooklyn. Like, I don't know how these people pay so much money in rent and don't give a shit what they step out to. Like, you are truly, you have no home raising or whatever it's called. Like you have home training, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, were you raised by wolves? Like, I don't understand how people just leave their dog shit there. And they're not little ones, they're big ones. And there's also, unfortunately, a lot of homeless people and like addicts and stuff. So sometimes I'm like, is that dog shit? I really sometimes question it. That's disgusting. So yeah, the nice weather is here. Maybe people will be a little bit more conscious, and at least there won't be like wetness everywhere. So get outside, enjoy this beautiful spring weather. I hope we actually get a spring, because we have been gypped of all of our seasons in New York. Seriously. With the nice weather, I just want to leave my door open. We have a Juliet balcony in our apartment. I'm sure you can hear the sirens. Like, I'm done fighting it. I live in Brooklyn. This is, oh my God. This is living in Brooklyn, and I do not want to close the door because my angel girl Luna, all she wants to do is sit on the balcony and enjoy the nice weather, and I need to give that to her since I haven't given her a yard or anything like that, and she absolutely despises filming days, so we need to make baby girl happy. So anyway, since I am celebrating 34 years of life, I thought it would be fun to do an episode talking about all of the things, well, not all of the things, but a lot of the things that I have learned on this journey. So the difference between your 20s and your 30s, and how I've grown and evolved, and like things that I think you could take home with you or take with you if you are also on a journey. And I would love to know things that you've experienced. So I'm gonna try and fit in as many as I can. I was going to originally do like 34 lessons I learned in 34 years or something like that. But to be honest, keeping track of what number I just did is like not, I can't do that. So I'm just gonna start reading off. I have a list, I have my iPad, and I've just been marinating with this and trying to give the best advice I possibly can. So let's get into it. Starting off strong here. If you want something, you need to ask for it. You need to go after it. You need to grab it. You need to make it known. People are not mind readers. I think so often we are caught up in like these scenarios that we create in our heads about people and how they react and respond to us, or the lack of reaction and response when we feel like they should know anything, whether it's at work, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in a friendship, whatever it is. Like, no, people are not mind readers. Everybody's communication styles are different. Everybody has a different way of going about things. Some people are very avoidant. Some people are very confrontational. Some people are very clear and know how to verbalize their needs and their wants. But not everybody is great at just knowing. Like, some people know exactly what you need, or they are good at, like, maybe you have a boss that's good at giving you that raise without you having to ask for it, or giving you more work without you having to ask for it. But people are busy, and you are not top of mind for everyone. And that's another thing. You are not top of mind for everyone. Not everything is about you, and not everything is personal. And that's something that I needed a lot of time with. I think for the most part, I am good at verbalizing what I want. I'm not perfect. I'm not always good at it, but I think like I'm decent at that. But taking things personal is definitely something that I am still working on. You know, if somebody doesn't answer your text, or they answer with one word, and let's say they do have a problem with you, but they're being passive aggressive about it, and they're not just coming out and saying it. Therefore, it's not your problem or your business unless you choose to like ask and address it right away. But sitting there brewing and stewing and thinking that everything is about you, they're mad at you, but you aren't speaking up at all or asking questions or saying anything, it's a waste of time. And it's easier said than done, but you know, sometimes people are just having a bad day. Some people are bad texters. Some people are just going through things and they're not able to like compartmentalize and like, you know, be nice to you. And they just can't do it. So not everything is about you, babe. It's just not. I know, it sucks. You aren't the center of the earth. You're the center of someone's world, I'm sure, but you are not the center of like every single person in your life. I imagine it would be very hard to be the center of everybody's life. Like, that's a lot of pressure. So take the pressure off. It's not all about you. Not everybody is mad at you. Not everybody has a problem with you. The world is not against you at all times, and you don't have to be like in an armor consistently and always. Let the guard down and think a little less. And I think like as an overthinker, I totally get it. So have some good people around you that you can bounce things off of, that you can ask their opinion. And if you really think someone has a problem with you, ask them. Because once again, we are not mind readers. And nobody should expect that you read their mind as well, because you're not a mind reader, babe. Next on the list, comparing yourself to others and being jealous of what other people have, especially if they have something that you want or wanted that didn't come to fruition for you yet or never. I think that when you are jealous of someone, you should actually lean into that feeling, because what's underneath that feeling is that it's obvious that you want something that they have, but instead of, I'm trying to like word this the right way. Instead of being angry toward them or nasty or speaking ill of them, study them, like not in a creepy like stalker way, but like learn what they did to maybe get to that position that you are dying to be in. Like, why don't you dissect like what they did? Like, maybe befriend them, but like only if you have good intentions. Don't be fucking weird. Like, don't befriend someone just to be like an op, just to be like a hater in the corner that wants to like get information to talk shit about them. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying befriend them almost in like, maybe they could be a mentor or they could offer advice. You need to be grateful that they extended this to you, and let that jealousy turn into something that motivates you to learn how to be the way that they are, have the things that they have. Because maybe you just are doing something wrong, or maybe you have some growing to do or some studying to do, or there's a missing component, or maybe you might talk to them and realize actually entirely it's not for you, and you were jealous for no fucking reason because you don't even like what they have now that you've like seen it up close, and you actually want something different. And here's the thing, there's a lane for everybody. So let's say you do want it and you get there, you're gonna do it different than the next person. Like, why do you think there's so many makeup artists, hairstylists, content creators, lawyers, doctors? Everybody does things in their own way and has a different gift and value to offer in their space. So do things the way that you do them. Be authentic to yourself. It's okay to take inspiration, but don't let that jealousy thing like lean into something ugly, because the only person that's hurting is you. That's like you drinking poison and wanting it to kill the other person. Like, no, that emotion will literally eat you alive. So lean in, figure out what's under the surface there, and figure out how to get there yourself instead of being a fucking hater. Don't be a hater, it's whack. I have spoken about this next one before, but it can't be said enough times, especially to women in their 20s, young girls, and honestly, older. Everyone at any age can hear this. Women, man, doesn't matter what you are, you could hear this. Make sure you are dating the person that's in front of you, not the potential that you see in them. Like, I cannot stress this enough. We, especially as women, are so hung up on the potential that somebody has. And I've said this and I'm so passionate about it because it's annoying. I hate seeing a woman who deserves love and all of the like the good things in life, just sit there and fucking tell me about how her man's a piece of shit, but he has so much potential to do XYZ. Babe, if somebody does not want to fill the potential that they have, you are not going to make them fill it. You are not going to change them. You are not their Lord and Savior. Like, we aren't saving people anymore. Throw it out the fucking window. The savior complex is whack and it needs to fucking go. Yes, there are exceptions to that rule, but like literally 1% maybe. Like, very rarely does someone actually change. And if they do, it's because they want to, not for you and not for anyone else. Nobody is going to have lasting change unless this is something that they wanted to do for themselves, and you are just a bonus to that. But dating someone for their potential, unless you're like fucking 15 or 16 and they have the potential to do great things and get into a good college, other than that, like, no, you don't need to be dating a fucking bum because you think that he might be a great dad one day. He's still gonna be a bum. So like, you need to reframe that and rework it, because I think like women sometimes want to be the one that he changed for. It's so common. We see it all the time. You don't need to be the one that he changed for. You don't need to sit through all of that. There is no award at the end of life for how much you suffered and how much you put up with. No award for that. You don't get a prize because you were a ride or die for someone that treats you like shit. There's no prize at the end of life for that, honey. So I need you to rework the way that your mind works and really take into consideration. Now, are there people that are worth sticking around? Of course. Have a little discernment. Learn what's what. Learn how to see the red flags, especially when they are fucking crimson, bright fucking red. I think crimson's red, right? Yeah. Like, you really just need to see people for who they are in front of you at that time, in that moment, period, dot, end of story. That's it. So please, please, please stop trying to like save a hoe. It's not the vibe. You deserve more. Next, if you have a friend that is constantly and incessantly talking shit, she's talking shit about you too. Period. That's it. It's self-explanatory. There's no way that they are doing that to everyone else and not to you. And don't be fooled, because I have been fooled before. Of course, a little gossip is a little gossip. I think gossip is like essential for life. I mean, I actually read or saw something about the history of gossip, and I thought it was so interesting because it basically said gossip is basically a tactic or tool that women used, you know, since whenever it started, which is probably the beginning of like civilization. I'm sure like the cave women were talking mad shit, and they used it as a protection tool. So think about that, because it's true. If you never heard about a guy that was a piece of shit through the grapevine who did XYZ to all of these girls, you would never know about it, and then maybe you would date him and it would be terrible. Or with a boss or a teacher or a job, anything like that. So it's definitely, can be like a tool, because that's how you know, like, stay away from that person or don't do that thing. So to an extent, and listen, I love me some chisme. I love it, but not harmful. Nothing harmful, and nothing where someone is constantly just talking shit about you. That's not the vibe. Speaking of friendships, you start realizing that it is not quality. I mean, it is not quantity, it is quality when it comes to your friendships. The quality of your friends is so important. When I was younger, I had 1,000,001 friends. I was like the mayor. You could literally Anywhere I went, I knew someone. In every circuit, every circle, everything, I always knew someone. And I still know them, but my importance now is on my core group of people, or not my importance, my priority is my core group of people and having fewer really high quality friends. You don't need to be friends with everyone. A friend to all is a friend to none. And that's another lesson right there. Be picky about where you spend your time. Be intentional about who you spend it with. Be intentional about your conversations. Be intentional about what you consume. Now, of course, there's always time and a place for fun and doing fun things, but you want to just be super smart about these connections and the people you spend your time with. Setting boundaries. Now, this one was hard for me. I think I'm kind of a recovering people pleaser a little bit. Set your boundaries and stick to them. Your boundaries are for you to uphold, not for someone else to uphold. So if somebody steps out of bounds, then that's for you to uphold that boundary. People sometimes aren't thinking about you and your boundaries and, oh, like she said I cannot text her past 10 p.m., blah, blah, blah. No, you need to uphold your own boundaries and your own rules and regulations for your life. That's your responsibility. That's not other people's responsibility. It's up to you, if you have someone that's consistently disrespecting your boundaries, to not maybe have a relationship with that person anymore. But you cannot expect everybody to know what's okay and what's not okay unless you are clear about it and you are telling them. People will not know your boundaries if you never voice them. Once again, people are not mind readers. So if you have a boundary in your head, how the fuck am I supposed to know? I'm not gonna know. So you need to uphold your boundaries. And having like an attitude and being passive aggressive when someone does something that you don't like is super unproductive, annoying, stupid, immature. Stop doing it. Passive aggressive behavior is so fucking annoying, and I really can't stand people that are like that. If you feel some type of way, talk about it, say it, put it in place, let it out, be upfront. Don't be passive aggressive and think that I'm supposed to just like take it and be like, oh, I must have done something wrong. No. If you haven't told me how you felt, I'm not gonna know how you feel, period. So you need to say it and not be passive aggressive, okay? Have some cojones. It's on the list. Take care of your body. This is something that I learned basically through force. My body was screaming, yelling, throwing things at the wall, crying, kicking, all of the things. Because, well, A, I didn't know that I had Lyme disease for a couple years, and I wasn't proactive about it. So be proactive about your health. I would drink, and the hangovers I had were not normal. They were demonic, fucking like I was being, it was like an exorcism, like, not to be gross. And anyone that's friends with me knows that. All the blood vessels would break in my face. I would be violently vomiting for like 24 hours. I'm not kidding. And sometimes it was for 2 days straight. And my face would just swell, everything broken in my face, and it was honestly really, really, really terrible. And I found out I was allergic. I became allergic to things as I got older. I'm allergic to vodka, I'm allergic to whiskey, I'm allergic to wine, and I used to drink Johnny Walker Black on the rocks, and I would get so sick. So I can only drink tequila, but I really don't drink, because with the Lyme, when I do drink, I get really inflamed and my joints really, really hurt. So make sure that you are doing your own research, you're advocating for yourself, you're getting second opinions, checking in on yourself, and being in tune with your body and knowing when something's wrong, because health is wealth, and I abused the fuck out of my body. So I am feeling good, and honestly, you can't put a price on your health. So take advantage of being healthy, young, move your body, and try not to be, what's the word? I don't know, like, I want to say a gnome, but I know it's not a gnome. Try not to be like stuck in your house all the time. Next on the list when you are young, and this isn't something that you can only do young, obviously, but travel. Make sure you travel. Don't let someone hold you back from a school you want to go to. Your parents, don't let them hold you back either. If you want to go away for college, do it. Do all the things that you can do while you truly have freedom of youth, because you don't have a house, you don't have kids, you don't have, you know, as much responsibility. So take advantage of the little responsibility that you have in your 20s, most people, and utilize that time to do things that you really want to do. Try everything. That's the next thing. Try everything. Try everything and see if you like it. I think there's like so much pressure in having your life figured out so early by going to college and picking what you want to do forever. But just remember that it's not, like, it's temporary and you can change it. Look at me. I changed my career after 10 years. It's very possible and you can do it. But try the things that you want to try while you have the freedom to do so, and see the world as much as you can. Experience different cultures. Immerse yourself in those cultures. Try new foods. Don't be just a chicken fingers and fries type of bitch. Do something new. Like, don't be picky. Like, don't be in like Italy and only want to eat like pasta. Well, I mean, you want to eat pasta in Italy, but you know what I mean. Try new foods. Don't be that person that just wants to eat the same American bullshit. Now, when you are traveling, try McDonald's. This is something you should do in other countries because they are so much better than they are in the States. The quality is so much better. The rules, the regulations on their food in other countries is so much better. Our food rules are complete trash. So like, try the McDonald's in other places, but also try foods that are native to those places and really enjoy yourself. Don't only just vacation, make sure that you are also traveling. And that's something I heard from, I think, Anthony Bourdain, and I really loved him. And yeah, you want to do new things, try new things, expose yourself to other things so that you're not a closed-minded person who doesn't know how to accept and be around other cultures and other people without being like, that's weird, because that is like so whack. Like, it's so whack to be like that. Other countries do things so differently and so beautifully to me than the American way. I think that a lot of countries have, especially in Europe, the right idea about the work-life balance and all of it. It's obviously a different speed over there, but when you're in those situations, really take advantage of them and enjoy where you're at. The next one on my list is stop telling people how to treat you over and over and over and over again. Stop it. Stop doing it. It's a waste of your time, your breath, your energy, all of the things. Stop consistently having to tell someone what you want, what you don't want. Yes, you should of course verbalize those things, but if they are not hearing you, they are not respecting you, you need to just walk away. Like, you need to just leave it. Let dogs die, lay where they die, whatever the fuck that quote is. I never get these quotes right. Let sleeping dogs lie. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But you need to leave things where they are, leave people where they're at, and that's it. You need to stop trying to take dead weight with you into all of your endeavors, and learn the art of letting go, because there is so much beauty in letting things go. And relationships, friendships, all of these things can be so heartbreaking, but when it's time and you know it's time, listen to it and do it, because otherwise you are truly going to feel regret and like you wasted so much time. And everybody has some regrets, but let's minimize them where we can. And you don't want to regret not taking that trip with your friends, not going to that school, not moving to that city, not doing any of that. So, you know, everyone has a different path, but I think that you need to follow your gut, follow your intuition, really hone in on it, especially as women, we all have it. So hone in on it and do what's right and what's best for you, as long as you aren't hurting others. Another one is stop staying where you are comfortable. If you are never growing, it's really bad. So whether it's a job, relationship, friendship, I've spoken about this before, but your comfort zone truly is where you go to die. So get uncomfortable, get comfortable with change. Change is the only constant that we have in this life. It is the only thing that will always be there. So get close to it, snuggle up in bed with it, because it's not going to stop. The changes are always going to keep coming in all different ways, in all different directions, and the more adaptable you are, the better. And speaking of being adaptable, be teachable. Always be a student. I know you've probably heard that a million times, but it is so true. You don't know it all. You don't have all the answers, and sometimes you do need help. So, of course, again, use a little discernment, because people don't know how to do that. With everything in life, use a little discernment, but you definitely... I just completely lost my train of thought. That's crazy. You see, I told you early onset dementia. I completely don't know what the fuck I was just talking about. Hold on, I'm buffering. Oh my God. Be teachable. That's what I was talking about. So yes, be teachable at all times. Learn from your elders, learn from people around you, learn from lived experience, and share those experiences, but also be teachable. And also, don't be someone that feels like you always need to insert your opinion into everything. Learn how to be a shoulder to lean on, an ear that's open. Be someone that people can also talk to. You don't want to drain everybody in your life by just being the person that always needs, wants, and takes. You definitely want to give, and this is with every single relationship. And sometimes when people are in the thick of something really hard, they don't need you to tell them, told you so, or I tried to warn you, or some other iteration of I told you so. Sometimes you just need to be there to listen, be a friend, be a partner, be someone that they can rely on, that they can talk to, that's there for them, and be empathetic to their situation. I think, like, as I've gotten older, I've softened a bit. I used to be a little bit tougher in terms of my tolerance levels, which I still don't have tolerance for bullshit or stupidity, but I have gotten softer and more tolerant in terms of maybe someone does something differently than I do and I don't understand it, but that doesn't mean that it's stupid. That's just their process. They had to go through it, and sometimes we have to make choices that maybe aren't the best, but they teach us something, and we have to get there in our own way. So learning that this is unique to everyone, and you do it, I do it, everybody does it, and who are you to judge them? So less judgment, a little bit more understanding, and if you can't understand it, there is a way to go about expressing that and saying that to someone without being a complete dick. And that's another life lesson. Don't be a dick if you don't have to be. Learn to practice patience. Patience is something that life has forced me to learn, and I am learning it, and I am very patient for the most part. And patience will teach you so much. Staying quiet, listening more, and being more observant. I am very, very observant. Amanda always tells me I observe shifts in energy. I observe everything. I observe little things, big things, and I notice a lot. So be observant. When spending your time in general, spend your time wisely. I've said that before. Be intentional with your time, and be intentional with recharging as well. Get comfortable with being alone and being by yourself. If you're someone who feels the need to constantly be around people, surrounded by someone, like running errands with, like, you just like can't do anything by yourself, you're always in a relationship, you need to look inward and realize, like, why am I running away from myself? Because ultimately that's what it is. You are just running away from yourself. You don't want to spend time with yourself. You're running away from something. But no matter where you go, there you are. So running from your problems really gets you nowhere, but you should be figuring out why. Because really what it should be is that you should have people around you that make you better, make your time better, and that's because being alone is so good. Like, there's that quote, I'll only have you if you're sweeter than my solitude. I've always loved that quote because I like spending time with myself and being alone, and I need it. I need to recharge. So that is super important, because if you don't like you, how are other people gonna like you? So definitely do that, and go to therapy. I always say this, therapy is newer for me, but I really do enjoy it. Every single thing about you has been shaped by your childhood traumas, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. And the way that you react and behave and do things is because of things that happened in your childhood. Those are your formative years. So for all the people that think like they're fine, but they had like a super traumatic childhood and they have not dealt with it, maybe therapy is not the way you deal with it, but you need to deal with it somehow. And so many answers are really like within you. They really are. Why you behave the way you do, you can pinpoint so many things on like the way you were brought up, things that happen to you, and then you can be cognizant of them and change them. Like, I grew up, you know, in a household where there was a lot of yelling. I mean, my mom's Latin, so she just naturally speaks at a higher octave. Yelling, and you know, I hated that. I hated being woken up in the morning with someone screaming at me. I hated that as my wake-up call. I mean, think about your nervous system. Like, trying to regulate my nervous system now is crazy, but that's something you should also do. But yeah, waking up that way was not fun, and that's like a tick I have now. If there is loud noise or yelling in the morning, like, it really triggers me. I hate it. I love my quiet, soft mornings. So, you know, I actively try to take the things that I didn't like about my childhood and not repeat them. And in a way, sometimes I feel like I am the one that's breaking sort of some generational trauma, which I'm kind of just realizing. And it's because I refuse to repeat the things that I didn't like, and that, you know, my mom with her mom and then with me, like, I don't want to repeat those things. You know, I think it softens as you get down the line, but I want to completely rid of it. If I have children, I want to change the things that I was not happy with growing up, and I want to make them better. So I work on it now, because these things don't happen overnight and they're not going to change overnight. So like, even with my dogs, like, I don't really yell at my dogs. Like, very rarely do I, and usually it's if I'm PMSing. And then when I do, I kind of feel bad. Like, I don't know if I would necessarily be like a gentle parent, because sometimes that's like the ultimate patience. Like, I watch gentle parenting videos and I'm like, wow. Like, I follow this girl and she's like, my daughter like slapped me across my face and this is how I handle it. And I'm like, but it's so true. Like, you're dealing with kids. They don't know any better. They're not evil. Like, something is wrong and they don't know how to communicate it. And it's up to you as the adult to figure out how to do it. Now, I'm not a parent, obviously, so I just do it with my dogs. My dogs can't talk. So they need something. So if they're crying or whining, what do they need from me? And I figure it out. And yeah, so I actively work on my patience and my delivery of things, and I'm not perfect, but I try to be cognizant of it. And if I see that I did something, whether it's to a friend, to Amanda, to my dogs, anything, like if I raise my voice or something, like I'll literally say sorry to my dog and kiss her, both of them. Things like that, I just think are so important to take note of, take inventory of. work on the things that upset you about yourself and be like really intentional, be honest with yourself, and hold space for yourself to process whatever it was that happened to you, or process whatever it is that bothers you or whatever you went through. Hold the space for it and then like change it. So deal with it and change it. I think that like it's not an excuse to act in a certain way or do certain things to others. I think maybe when you're younger it's an excuse, but once you're in your 30s and even in your 20s, like, you're responsible for your life. Only you are responsible for it. Nobody's gonna save you and nobody's gonna do anything for you. I mean, unless like you're really lucky or something, but nobody's gonna do these things for you. So you need to take inventory and make the changes, because you cannot walk around being a dick to people just because something happened to you when you were 5. It's definitely something that I will make space for the people around me, like, and have the patience for, but it's up to you to go to therapy and, you know, change it and change what you don't like and take control of yourself, because your childhood traumas and the things that happen to you do not have to define you. They can just make you better, make you more well-rounded, make you more understanding, make you a point of contact, or you know, like a person in someone else's life that they can talk to because they've been through something similar. So you can turn that around and make it better for the next person. And that's another lesson in itself. Be kind to people. I try to always, you know, have patience, hold the door open, say please and thank you, all of the things to people. And if someone's being a dick, I try to remember, like I said before, it's not personal, especially if it's someone that you don't know. And maybe they are dealing with something that's really terrible and they don't have the capacity to be nice or something like that. So let things roll off your shoulders. Don't sweat the small stuff. I always loved that book. My dad got it for me when I was pretty young and I always liked it and it stayed with me. Don't sweat the small stuff. It's not that deep. Next is, don't be a people pleaser. Stop saying yes when you want to say no. You are doing yourself a major, major, major disservice. This can be so detrimental to you, to your mental health, and it's not good. Don't be a yes man. Stand up for yourself. Whether you are scared, do it scared. That is like my main motto. Do it scared, because I do everything scared. Don't let people bully you. Don't let people walk all over you. I feel like this is like obvious and should, but like some people need to be reminded of that. And they just need to know, like, that they can. So here's me telling you, don't let people walk all over you. Don't be spineless. Don't be a pushover. Stand up for yourself. Grab life by the balls and go for the things that you want and do it scared. Don't operate from a place of fear, because it's truly detrimental to your health. Operate from a place of love for yourself and for your future and for the things that you want, and go after them. Go after them relentlessly. Be fierce in your pursuit and just go for it, because amazing things can happen. And if you aren't doing it, someone else is fucking doing it. I promise you. So, you know, if you don't treat things the way that you see that you want them to be, even when they're nothing, it's never going to be that. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. So let's say, like with my podcast, if I didn't treat this podcast like a serious thing with a full setup, showing up every single week, being mindful of my editing, taking the time, making this space, and making sure this episode's out every single Sunday like I said it would be, and showing up and speaking like I have an audience, it will never be that, because I'm not giving it the time, the dedication, the love. And even if the thing doesn't work out for you, at least you know that you did everything that you could possibly do to get it there. But if I treat this like a side hustle or treat it like something that's not top of list, not important, then that's what it will be. Because if I treated this, if let's say I didn't treat it like this and then it blew up tomorrow, I wouldn't even know what to do. I wouldn't know how to be consistent. I wouldn't know how to show up. I wouldn't know how to speak. I wouldn't have an editing style. I wouldn't have any of it if I randomly blew up to like, you know, 100,000 followers tomorrow. I would have no idea what to do with that following because I didn't put the time, work, effort, and energy into it like it was important, because it is important. So the things that matter to you are important. Treat them as such. Treat them with care, treat them with thoughtfulness, treat them with mindfulness, and prioritize the things that are important to you. Don't let people tell you that you can't do things. Don't let people tell you things are impossible. Don't scratch that noise. Anything is possible, but you need to put the work in. And I think that is like so important in an era where it seems to be like people blow up overnight, which some do. It's rare though. I think that you need to remember that most of these people have been doing this thing for years before it took off. So treat things with the outcome. Treat things like you have the outcome that you want already. So be a little delusional is really kind of the moral of that one. On a lighter note, some other things I have learned is that New York has the best pizza. Because obviously I'm born and raised here, but we have the best pizza ever, and I don't care what anybody says. I think it's even better than the pizza in Italy, if I'm being honest, and even Italians will tell you that. They think that too. Learn how to multitask. This is a art that has been lost. People do not know how to fucking multitask. Learn how to multitask, learn how to do multiple things at once, and learn how to make yourself indispensable. Learn how to show your value and your worth so that people feel like they can never get rid of you. And that really applies to like work situations and things like that. Show your value and your worth always, and always keep things professional because in work situations, because you don't want to be reactive. I mean, you don't want to be reactive in general. Usually it doesn't end up well or you feel bad about it. So try not to be reactive. This goes in with patience, but keep things professional, keep it cute all the time. That way you just like don't have this like bad trail around you, unless of course someone like really deserves it. Another important thing is to do things that make you feel good. Now, this looks different for everyone, and everyone's financial situations are different. But for me, things that make me feel good are that my nails are always done, my nails and my toes. Please treat yourself to a pedicure in the winter. Please do not let them dogs be barking all fucking winter long, and then you're getting your talons done in June. Like, I get my nails done every 2 weeks. I can't do them myself. I don't have regular polish. And as far as like a pedicure goes, like I just hate feet, including my own. So, and my feet aren't bad. I just don't like feet. So like invest in yourself. It really is true that like when you look good, you do feel good. So do it in small ways if you can, whatever it means. It doesn't have to be something big and luxurious. So for me, my eyebrows need to be done and my nails need to be done. I go every 2 weeks for my nails and my toes, and honestly it just makes me feel like a new woman. I don't even enjoy the process of getting my nails done or anything like that. I hate sitting there, but I like how it feels. It feels clean. I feel put together. And for a girl like me who I like to do things to make my maintenance minimal, but like that way I don't have to do too much stuff when I'm getting ready. I'm usually in like some leggings and a top or sweatpants or a sweatpants outfit or something like that. So having my nails done, blowing my hair out, having my eyebrows done, curling my lashes, these things make me feel good when I'm like working from home, and don't make me feel like a slob, because I personally just feel like a slob otherwise if I'm not like put together in some direction. So get a tinted sunscreen, put it on, curl your lashes, put a little lip gloss on, and blow your hair out. I blow my hair out once or twice a week, and it just makes me feel put together. So do the things that make you feel good, even if you can't do it all the time. You know, I also love Pilates, but it's so expensive. So maybe if there's a workout class you really like, but you can't do it, you go once a month or once every other month. But make sure there's like you time built into your life, not just for everyone else, not just full of plans. And don't say yes to every single plan if you don't want to. Learn how to get rid of things. Like, don't be a hoarder, basically. I used to hold on to every single thing. Like, haven't worn this in 10 fucking years when I was born. Like, I'm gonna keep it though. Like, no, get rid of your stuff, do some spring cleaning, make room for new stuff, stop buying trendy clothes, get some capsule pieces that you can just always wear. That's something that I'm working on. I wish I could buy less fast fashion, but financially it's what I can afford. But if I was rich, I would have the sickest wardrobe and it would be very, very minimal looking, but like expensive, you know. Invest in good pieces of jewelry, good handbags, things that you can have forever, not the trendy stuff. So yeah, learn how to purge. It's good for the soul, it's good for your mind, body, soul, all of it. Learn how to get rid of the clutter. Learn how to clean. Make sure you know how to keep a clean space for yourself and not for anyone else. Dust, pull things out, dust behind them. Learn how to do a real deep clean. Learn how to use some bleach. Clean your fucking tub. Like, be clean, okay? That's really the moral of the story. Be clean and wash your ass. Another one is to stop being so hard on yourself and your physical appearance. I think you need to be kinder, speak kinder to yourself, which is something I'm working on. And if there's something you don't like, work on it. I know it's sometimes easier said than done, but you know, try to enjoy the body that you have, especially if it's healthy, and try to walk more, try to be outside. Just try to enjoy the little things. Like, I live in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. I have beautiful Domino Park, literally footsteps outside from me, and I need to spend more time there and out of my apartment. So take advantage of things while you can. Especially if you live in a big city, you don't have to like pay for everything. I'm not saying to like dine and dash, but you don't have to you can do free things is what I'm trying to say. Go to parks, there's so many free things, museums, things like that. Spend your time wisely. I don't do it enough. Spend time with your family, call your grandparents, call your parents. Try and mend fences that have been broken as best as you can, obviously within reason. Everybody has their boundaries and you should hold on to those, especially if you've been mistreated or treated poorly. But I think that those are important things to try to work on things as best as you can, because, you know, people aren't around forever. What else? Sleep. Sleep is precious. I'm a bear. I love to sleep. Make sure you are getting your beauty sleep in. Invest in some skincare. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but like literally people keep telling me they can't believe I'm 34, and like that is such a compliment. Highest compliment, top tier, and not because I'm immature, but because of the way I look. Learn the power of an Irish goodbye. I'm the queen of that. I will exit stage left expeditiously, and I won't say shit to anyone because I don't want to hear, why stay? No, fuck off, I'm going to sleep. And one more like serious one is to embrace your failures and embrace your setbacks, because they will put you on a different path, one that you are meant to be on. They will shape you. They will make you a better person. They'll build some character. Don't let those moments define you. Let those moments define who you're becoming. Let them be a part of your bigger picture, because you're gonna fall on your face. It's meant to happen. It's gonna happen. And stop being afraid of being seen, being heard. Know that you can take up space. Know that you deserve to take up space. You deserve to be heard, seen, felt, loved, all of the things. Love on yourself. Let people love on you. Take the compliments. All of these things I am not great at, but I'm learning to be. I think I gave a lot of lessons there. I'm sure I'm gonna think of more and be like, fuck, I should have said that, because that always happens, but I had a whole list in front of me. And I think that those are some good ones. I wonder how many they are. Oh, and one more that like I'm terrible with is learn how to be financially literate. It's not me, but I'm trying to work on it. So learn how to do that and pay your fucking taxes. Pay your taxes, don't be stupid. That's it for that. And just in case anybody was wondering, I share a birthday with 3 iconic people. Actually 2 to me that are iconic. I share a birthday with Albert Einstein and Sammy Sweetheart from the Jersey Shore. And I also share a birthday with Kaylin Lowry from Teen Mom, which I guess she's iconic in her own right, which I didn't know that until I listened to the Dumb Blonde podcast because she was on there. And she just had Karen Gravano on there. Also, I'm obsessed with that podcast. Bunny, I love you so much. Karen Gravano's was good, but I liked Renee's better. And I think she's having Ramona Rizzo on there, and people want her to have Drita on there, which would be interesting because she's a fucking nut and just like a show pony. She's a showman. I am really looking forward to my new camera setup because this fucking thing died 3 times on me already, and I'm like sitting here trying to flow naturally, and that's gonna get old quick. So shout out to my family. You guys are the fucking best for getting me this camera and supporting all my fucking antics and my Delulu dreams. And one thing I will say that my parents instilled in me, which I didn't realize was like manifesting and a manifestation technique, which they probably wouldn't even label it that, but it was that, was they always told me you can do anything you set your mind to, and you need to work hard and things will happen, and that anything is possible. And this is true, I'm not making it up. Like my mom always, from the minute I was like born, you can do anything you set your mind to. She always told me and my brother that. And I had a coach that used to tell me to take can't out of my vocabulary. I was a competitive figure skater, for those who don't know that about me, for a lot of my life, from like 6 years old to like 20. And my coach is one of the people who molded me and shaped me as a person. She's incredible and I love her so much. And she used to tell me that I wasn't allowed to say can't. So if I'd be like, I can't do that move, or I can't do that jump, or I can't do that spin, I wasn't allowed to say it. Like, say it again, say it differently. And I used to try to get creative with how I would say it, and she'd be like, no, just fucking do it. Do it scared. So I did. So I'm really blessed to have had these adults in my life. I think that they gave me this Delulu, like delusional sense of faith in myself. I don't know. And it wavers. It's not unwavering, but the point is that I'm still showing up and I'm still being consistent, and that is what matters. So shout out to them. Shout out to Albert Einstein and Sammy Sweetheart. I'm so blessed to share a birthday with you icons. And I think that's it. I'm not gonna do a high and low of the week because this week should only be a high because it was my birthday, and I am usually emo and depressed around my birthday, and I was like half the week. So trying to turn it around today and be grateful for the position I'm in. I had therapy this morning, which always helps too. So, and shout out also to my amazing girlfriend who, when I am in the trenches having like the worst week, I'm not gonna say the worst week of my life, being dramatic now, having the worst week because I was just in such a way over my birthday and getting older and where I'm at, and I couldn't have a more supportive partner who reminds me of my worth and how important I am. And you know, I had to kiss a lot of frogs to get to my princess. So, you know, I just feel really, really loved, seen, and heard by her, and I have never felt that in any other relationship. Like, truly seen for who I am as a person, what I offer as a person, and heard. Like, I say things to her and she hears them, she remembers them, and she's just so supportive also. Like, it's really cool. Like, my friends are amazing too. It's really cool to have like I call it delusional, but it's kind of crazy. Like I say, I'm delusional and I have delusional like faith in myself and my dreams, but it's really kind of crazy when the people around you also have that for you and they don't view it as delusional and crazy and they're just like proud of you and supportive. And then you're like, well, if other people see it in me, not just family members, then maybe it is real. Maybe I can do it. And I'm just really lucky. So I love all of you. And like I always say, you don't need a big circle of friends. I have my few friends and we are all like-minded individuals that believe in big dreams and going after them. So if you don't have that in your life, you have me to be that for you in your life. And as always, if you want advice, if you want to share a story, if you have a question, if you have a topic, please feel free to send it to tgrpod.nyc@gmail.com. And I would love, love, love to hear from somebody. Is anybody home? Because my shit drier than a motherfucker. So please send me an email, even if you just say hi. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in for another episode, and I will see you next week. Love you. Bye.